I was thinking about starting by singing a Christmas song, but then I couldn't think of one, so I just didn't do it. Instead, I just did the regular old opening of me laughing in the middle of a joke that I didn't even hear, so that I had some kind of noise as the camera started up. I'm trying. Look at me, folks. I'm trying.
We'll do it for you if you need, like, for just a plug on your channel.
1 retweet.
Yeah, for sure. Per episode.
Okay.
And $1,000 each.
Nope.
Per hour.
I mean, I'll take it.
Hi everybody, welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Krug.
I'm Indigo.
I'm your old buddy Dan. How are you? Welcome to the show today.
Today we're finally back from our super lazy vacation where we accomplished absolutely nothing.
It's been a while.
We didn't even see family and friends for the holidays. We literally just sat on the couch and did absolutely nothing. Not even talking to each other.
I'm still wearing the same clothes.
Me too.
As last time.
That's not true. Today we're here to talk to you about the Pathfinder 2e, not really an update.
Not in the sense of there is a new update coming for the playtest, but update in the sense that we want to let everybody know what's going on.
Just kind of an announcement that they did on their YouTube channel a while ago. Had some interesting information in it, so we wanted to go over it for you if you didn't have a chance to catch it or if you didn't watch the whole thing, because it was pretty long.
Yeah, it was a 30-minute live stream on Twitch that they did before the new year, and then they released it on YouTube on January 2nd.
I believe you.
The core of it was a top 5 things to look forward to when Pathfinder 2nd Edition comes out. They are looking at the beginning of the year of cons that they're planning on being at, and they are planning on having things for people to see at those cons.
Yeah, now that's really vague.
Yes.
It's definitely not a complete release of anything.
No.
It's just like samples of maybe stuff that they've changed or brand new stuff that they're like proud of and want to show off to get hype going for the new system. And I think that's what we are looking forward to mainly is just hype generation, which is totally fine by me because that means it's probably exciting stuff.
We know for a fact that they are going to have some sort of information at PaizoCon.
Absolutely.
So we'd be able to see some of what the final is going to be looking like
absolutely.
by PaizoCon.
Why would you not?
Like, it's your con. Like, they definitely said, absolutely we'll have something, but it's not going to be the finished product. Just to give you a time frame, like, that's May 24th through the 27th.
Still believe you.
They admitted that their timeline for their playtest and, like, the playtest, like, games themselves were extremely tight.
Very aggressive.
Boy, oh boy, it was a fast guy. Like,
the submissions for feedback is still open.
Is it?
Yeah, it's open.
I thought they ended on the 1st.
It's open till the 31st of this month. So that, oh wait, hold on, that might have been from the perspective of the live stream, which means it closed on the 31st of last month. That makes more sense.
Yeah, that's why. We consistently played every single Wednesday.
Yeah, and we cut 3 of them?
Two.
We cut 2 of them.
I don't know how you expected the average person to get
Yeah, and we have a group that was scheduled, 100% consistency, are there to play the game every week, and we couldn't go through it. We
3 hours each day.
Yeah.
Jason came out and said, here are the top 5 things to look forward to, and he's got this list. The fifth, the least exciting one, is the game is going to have polish and flavor.
Cool.
I expect polish at least.
Not to say that polish and flavor can't get you excited.
Yes.
But you have to like really nail it. Like there's a certain point where it's just like, yep, that's your job.
Yeah. And the bit of flavor that they gave the example is the fact that rogues now, instead of just choosing between strength, dex, and charisma, it's now called a racket, and it's supposed to represent.
It's supposed to represent a motorcycle.
Called a racket, which is supposed to give it kind of like real world, like reasoning behind mechanical.
Like you were.
aspects.
This is just an example off the top of my head, but were you like a protection scam kind of guy, or were you like a con artist kind of guy? Which would be the difference between 2 different stats.
Exactly.
it's the flavor, it's the world building, it's the narrative that brings them in.
And this gives us a better way for the story to become manifest in the games.
Number 4 on this thing that I just decided was a top 5 list of things apparently is.
Well, that's what he called it.
Oh, really?
Top 5 things to look forward to.
Ugh, God, I hate that. I mean, I know we do it sometimes, but it's just, I hate when we have to do it. Chapter 1 has been rewritten to make it a little bit less confusing for people who don't already play Pathfinder or RPGs in general.
It has a complete treatise that walks you through in a narrative way all of the major terms and pieces of the game.
Great.
And then uses all of those to walk you through an example of play. So the entire point of it is to help you build your understanding of the game instead of just kind of throwing you in the deep end and asking you to go look up charts and tables.
A lot of mechanics are supposedly going to be explained a bit more in depth at the beginning instead of making you go to a different chapter to look for content that is at the beginning of the book. A new person having to go from page 7 to page 239 to read up on a thing, it might throw them off a little bit, you know, and kind of that layer of complexity might turn them off from playing in the first place.
They're like, oh, I feel like I should go read that now.
And I'm one of those people.
Before I continue on with this.
Yeah.
And so it's changed it to be more of like an example of gameplay.
Sure.
Can we please move on to number 3?
Number 3 is they've updated the GM side of things, which I significantly approve of, but only sort of. They said that they have simplified a lot of things, made charts a little bit easier to read, so it's not like 5 different lines. Like some of the charts for the GM of like how DCs work and stuff like that were a little bit noisy.
I didn't find them that difficult to read, but maybe that's just me.
I wouldn't say difficult, I would just say way more busy than they needed to be, and it could be simplified, and it should be.
We got a lot of feedback about how the table of DCs was a big kind of convoluted mess.
Well, and the main reason for this is the number 1. Like the number 1 on this top 5 list is what's really causing that to happen.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. The other thing is that they've simplified conditions.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't think he did.
The way we understand it is that conditions themselves aren't necessarily going to be simplified, but the way they're organized is going to be simplified. We could be wrong here.
I've watched him talk about that part 3 times, and I got a different meaning behind it each time, so I don't know what's... Like, because they're talking about, oh, this saps your dexterity, this saps your strength. And so it's like, okay, are conditions going to be under that? Or is it going to be like, oh, these X ones, all it does is sap your dex?
Here are the key things they said.
Conditions were causing a lot of headaches at the table because some of them were really close to one another. So we looked at the conditions and we found ways to push some of them apart. We deleted one or two of them that weren't doing the job we needed them to do. We kind of created a condition that said your strength is sapped. We created a condition that says your dexterity is sapped. We created a condition that says your constitution is sapped.
Ah, okay.
And then we created, and most of these are adaptations of conditions we already had.
Okay.
So they're not actually new. We just streamlined their abilities to be like the dex damage condition basically says take a penalty on all your dex rolls.
Okay. All right.
And dex stats.
What do you think it means? Let us know down in the comments. Number 2, something that should really, by order of importance, be negative 375. They removed resonance points.
Yes.
No.
Everyone loved resonance.
No, everyone hated resonance.
Mind you, there is still going to be a limit for how many magical items that you can physically wear.
Yes.
But
Yeah, that would be ridiculous if there wasn't. I'm wielding 17 amulets.
yeah, and so they're going to be changing some of that aspects of it. And there will be a limit. We don't know how it's going to be associated, whether it's just like 1 per slot, or if it's going to be like what 5e does, which is attunement.
3 total,
like
for everyone. I think it would be nice to still have some variety in that regard, but it definitely shouldn't be something that you have to sacrifice other parts of your character to build up into. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
I'm fine with just giving me a limit and just being
Sure,
a
yeah,
flat
I'm
number,
also okay with that.
as long as it's not 1.
And as long as like mundane-ish magic items don't count towards it.
Well, that-
you know what I mean?
that's the problem
There has
is-
to be a differentiation between like a magic item that barely does anything, but like you want it for your character's flavor, and a magic item that like, oh, use this to cast Fireball as many times as you want on your turn. Like those two different power levels.
And that's kind of how 5e handles
Exactly.
it, is you've got 3 attuned items, and then you can wear
As many that don't require attunement as possible.
Exactly.
I'm super on board with them doing that. Do I think they will? No, I think they'll come up with their own thing just to not use 5e's thing, to be completely honest with you. That's speculation.
I also like that it's not associated with a stat.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like having to sacrifice part of my character for it.
They also did mention that they're going to change how wands work because of that.
Giggity.
I want to see how they do that.
Yeah.
Because I've always seen wands used the same exact way, so I'm looking forward to seeing like a new
You
style.
have to put them in your mouth. So it's a verbal component, which is the wand in your mouth, and then the semantic component, you wave your head back and forth like that.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope. Cool. And the number one thing is that they have changed how proficiencies work.
Yep.
Now, this was a huge bit of drama on the interwebs for a little while because a lot of people were feeling, when they moved to a -4 for untrained, a lot of people were upset because it's like, oh, you're punishing players.
At the time, it was -2, but
well, it was
thing.
-2, and then they moved it to -4, and that's when a lot of people were complaining about is that change.
Yeah.
They've now made it so untrained is 0. You don't gain your level. You don't gain anything. It's just a flat 0 plus whatever points you put in. Right? Now, trained is now going to be a +2.
Yep.
Expert is now a +4.
Yep.
Master is a +6. And legendary is +8.
Wow. Okay, going up to 8. Okay.
Yeah, going all the way up to 8.
Now, trained all the way to legendary also adds your level as well.
That was my problem. I never had a problem with the -2, -4 thing. Like,
No.
I thought that added a little bit of extra kind of intuitiveness to skills where you're like, oh, I have a -X in this. I should probably not attempt it, especially at lower levels where most new players start.
Yep.
And then as they grow into it, that like negative whatever is going to slowly become a positive number. And so they can really see the growth of their character kind of like very, very in their face. This I like because the difference between trained and legendary is so much more drastic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that's what I love because legendary didn't feel legendary to
No.
me. It's way closer, if not there. I haven't played with it yet, but like, definitely a good place to start at the very least.
Yeah, and that's kind of why the GM's charts are going to be changing because of this drastic change.
It's fair.
And it's also now going to kind of, you know, make it a little bit cleaner by having a streamlined numbering system. I'm very excited about that change.
Same.
I'm looking forward to seeing more changes.
Also same.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the game actually being released.
Still same.
What about you? Are you still excited about 2nd edition, or are you kind of over it? Or are you just gonna wait and see when it comes out?
Probably most people are gonna say that.
Let us know down in the comments while you're down there. Make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure to hit the bell icon.
All 3.
And then head over to Twitter and talk to us. You can talk to me on Twitter at IndigoQT.
You can talk to me at QueueTimes on Twitter. You can also talk to both of us at all of these social media things. There's 4 of them. They're all different colors. All the colors are pretty. We've been GameGorgon. We'll see you guys next time.